I left my 9 to 5 to build 2 businesses whilst having 2 children and a household to run. And most days that still feels wildly unhinged, especially at 9:45 on a Monday night when I've just lined up all of my tasks for the week, all of my meetings, just everything that I've got on my calendar. Not only have I got kind of like the read with me's with children, so kind of going into school and reading, I've got meetings with investors, I've got meetings with copywriters, S&C sessions for taekwondo, all the things. But honestly, this week it feels like something shifted, and it's not in like a big dramatic way. It's just enough to make me think that this might actually work. And I think if you talk to any founder, any entrepreneur out there, there's just this, I don't know, this thing that happens, and it might make us sound a bit unhinged, but it's true. I've had it before and I feel like it's happening again, and I feel like it's a really important time to share this whole topic. So I want to bring you along for this week just to really capture for myself and hopefully show anyone watching that you can sow seeds, you can spend, like I've been out of kind of your traditional employment for like 9 months now, and you can spend all of that time sowing seeds and not see anything. But consistency and persistence is key. And it almost got to the point where I didn't believe that. Honestly, just before Christmas, I think I was about to crack either way. And I'm so grateful I didn't. So I want to show you this week what that looks like amongst all the carnage.
No, I think it's really funny because like no one talks about how scary it can feel kind of making these moves. But one of my core goals of this whole thing is to keep it real and it not be a highlight reel. She's got end of the day makeup on. It's 10 o'clock. She's about to prep her breakfast so that she's hitting her goals for a nutritionist. So it's not all glam, it's not all photo shoots, which I'll show you later, but this is actually what it looks like. And it's kind of like with athlete life. Like I feel like maybe if I saw it all, I don't know, it would make me think of it differently before I became it. Like I'm not saying I wouldn't have done it, I 100% would, but it would make you think. And as a mum, obviously, like I said, I made a choice as a mum of 2 children running a house to leave kind of society's idea of financial stability to build something new for me and for the family. And that comes with so much uncertainty, so much financial pressure, and what can feel like super long timelines. Like I said, you can be sowing seeds for half a year before you see the results. But when you see the results, oh my goodness, it's beautiful. And I think with what it is that we're trying to build, it just feels even sweeter. And one beautiful example of that is last year in August, I took GB Taekwondo and one of the partnering clubs along to a Limbo Foundation Adventure Day. At this Adventure Day, we did sessions in Taekwondo for everybody that was there. So it could have been an adult, child, limb different, non-limb different. Everyone was just welcome to get on the mats. And we had the gold medalist Amy Truesdale come and visit for a while as well. The children's faces, I can't tell you, it makes like just seeing them light up because of Taekwondo the way that I feel I light up, and seeing it in a child, and because I wish I'd found it as a child, and seeing them find it as a child, and seeing that they can see there's no barriers to it. All it takes is an environment that feels safe to give it a crack, and it's just wonderful. And I saw that, I witnessed it, and there was this one boy, Luke Mortimer, who contracted meningitis at the age of 7, and I got to speak to his parents and just understand the experience that they'd gone through. He ended up having all 4 limbs amputated due to septicemia, and he got on the mats and he just lit up. And I swear he was there for at least an hour, maybe longer. I think he came back and he was checking out Amy's gold medal and he was just soaking it up. And I'll share the post here. Ooh, you're following me, so it'll work here. But yesterday I opened my phone and I saw, because the whole point of us bringing GB Taekwondo and the Fightability campaign with us was to show children and anybody that there is a space for them in the sport, and also highlight to them where they could go. So they actually ended up finding a Taekwondo club. You can see Luke taking part in the Taekwondo lesson, like he's joined a club, and that seed has been sown for like 5 months. 5 months that seed has been sown, and he's now taking part in the sport. Like that is, and that's gold. That's, like I showed Harvey and I was like, this is it. Like that feels like job done for me. Like that's the goal. And yeah, like it's just a perfect example of sowing seeds. It might not look like anything's happened. Like for the last 5 months, I've had amazing feedback from people from that event in terms of Taekwondo, but in terms of outcomes, that was just mwah, like, oh, and I hope he's loving it. I'm going to message his parents and just be like, ah, so excited. So it just goes to prove really that something that might feel scary, like maybe Luke stepping on the mat for the first time, or me putting myself out there to take Taekwondo to that event, or me even stepping on a mat for the first time, like those seeds feel big and scary, and you might not see like the blossom of that for quite some time, but you just need to keep showing up and pushing and doing what you believe is right. And like I said, that's what this week is about for me. I'm really excited to share it with you guys, but right now I need to make breakfast. Oh, why? Oh, we don't know. Hello, good morning. It's the day of the pitch for the Catalyst programme at Southampton University. I'm 30 minutes away from doing my first ever limb match pitch, which is wild. Feels really surreal, but I feel weirdly just chill about it. I feel like I've spent so many years pitching for other people's dreams that are for the community but not by the community, and it's really exciting to be able to use my voice for a dream that I know the community is 100% behind. Like, we've done the data collection, we've proven the concept, and people want this. People want an unbiased platform for prosthetics, somewhere you can go and get honest reviews, you can share honest reviews, where the industry can get data and they can innovate using data from the user and from users worldwide. Like, it's just, I can't wait to, this is my baby. It's come from my brain. It's come from my experience with the community and with prosthetics. And I got my baby on with me. And I tried to cry because of my makeup. But I had a bit of like an emotional, maybe I should talk about this afterwards. An emotional like moment before I got in the car and I picked this up. We've got a suitcase full of prosthetics that we keep in the loft. But I got this one and I've got my last ever NHS one as well. I was prescribed this when I was, say, 6 to 9 months old. This was a sleeve filler. This told me when I was that age that I had to fit in. It told me to hide, and it told me that I didn't belong. Like, it had no function. It has no function. It's purely aesthetic. It's purely to make other people comfortable. That a baby has one hand. And it's just so hard. Like, it's not something I obviously remember. I don't remember being prescribed this. It's not about that. It's about, it shows the society I grew in. It shows that this was just implicit throughout my life. That you should blend, able pass, hide, even when you can't talk, even when the milestones say you need to crawl, not have a solid, useless thing on the end of your arm. So it feels really powerful. It feels like I'm taking little me with me and I'm using our voice. So yes, enough the emotion, don't want to cry. But yeah, so wish me luck. I'm weirdly chill and I'm really excited to get the first one out of the way. Like, regardless of the outcome, it would be great to get onto the programme. However, if I don't, it's not meant to be. I've got incredible people behind me already, which has given me the confidence to do this. So I hope they like it. I hope that I can articulate it in a way that someone without any understanding of the industry will get. That's one of my main things, is can I articulate to everybody why this is important when they haven't lived this, which is huge. And also understanding that the market need, and we're not in it to make money. I'm in it to, it needs to make money to be a business, right? And for it to be a great platform, it needs to make the revenue to grow, develop, to get those technologies involved. But for me, it's the impact, this data that we're collecting and this unbiased platform. The goal is to shift the narrative, to shift the industry and make it a user-first industry, as it should be. It's one of the only industries that there isn't a platform like this, which is wild. You've got Autotrader for cars, you've got Trustpilot for services, you've got, like TripAdvisor for hotels, nothing for prosthetics. And it's such a huge choice and it's so expensive and it's just wild. So I hope that I can articulate that to them today. I've got 20 minutes now, so I better go and find where I'm going. I might also just have a little bit of cheeky Red Bull because I've had no carb today. Oh, she's back. Just got back from the pitch. Had a little debrief with Harvey, and yeah, I think it went well. Pretty happy. First ever pitch, obviously, like I said earlier. And the first bit of feedback was kind of like, this was great. I felt like it was an investment pitch, so maybe I took the level up a bit too much. Because I felt like I needed to be getting my money out and giving you money. Like, it was really great. So that was nice in terms of if I do go for funding rounds, that I kind of have a pitch that I've given a crack at, which was pretty much the whole goal of even going for this. So yeah, but it was really exciting. They've got, at Southampton Uni, they've got quite a few people that are in the healthcare industry. There's a whole NHS building there. Not 100% was inside it, but two of the people I was pitching to out of the 5 that were there, they had experience in the prosthetics industry. So gave me some really good questions. I think I answered well. There were some things I answered with, and then she was like, oh great, like I was going to ask about that, like the NHS kind of postcode lottery, things like that. So when you're in this stage of a startup, I feel like you don't get many opportunities to be in a room with other people that are experts in that field. So it was just nice to go and almost have that expertise tested. Like, can I answer those questions? Yes. There was one question that actually I didn't have the answer for, which is really good again. I can take that home. I think out of the 5 people, 4 people got it. One person didn't quite get it. And I feel like their questions didn't align with the rest of the room. So fine. And a good test, like I said. Yeah, and then it came back and perfect timing heard from the web developer, and she's pretty much ready for beta to go live. So crazy. And then I have heard from a friend actually who's a journalist. She's amazing. She's an amazing writer. I've gone to a few events with her. Like, we know each other quite well. Haven't spoken to her in a while, just where our paths haven't crossed. And she reached out a few weeks ago and just said that she loved what we were doing and she'd love to be involved. It was really exciting to hear, for one, that the message was resonating, because she has a very similar she has the same limb difference as me, so very similar lived experience, and it resonated with her. So that was already exciting, and then the fact she wants to work with me as well, super exciting. So I had a call with her last week and just got back her feedback from Limb Match, from the website, and the ways that we could work together. So I'm just waiting to get kind of quotes from her as well, and we have a little team going. I'm really, really excited. So yeah, I can't wait to share more about that. But it's Good Friday. It's a good Friday. I'm just buzzing a bit. Like, I had that Red Bull, came back and I've had some lunch and just had a debrief, and I'm a bit like, brr. But it feels good to have it out the way. And it's interesting how I didn't feel too nervous. Sometimes I can get really kind of stressed out about, especially stuff like that. It's something that I just know inside out. It's my baby. It's something I can speak to without much thought, even though I do put a lot of thought in. So it was just good to, I guess, see where my head's at with it all as well. So it's a win either way, and I should hear back next week, so I will keep you posted. So I've just got back from my S&C session this morning. Got back and I started time blocking my calendar to try and figure stuff out. Next on my list is sorting out content. and just figuring out how I can share everything that's going on behind the scenes at the moment. Because when you're so kind of busy doing all the unglamorous stuff, all the grant applications and the mentorship calls, award applications and website building and loan application, like all the thing is so it's so useful, but it is not grid worthy. It doesn't feel grid worthy, that's for sure. But I need to get better at it, so I'm about to try and sit down and figure out how to do that. And I think it's really important as well because I'm not sharing about it, because I'm too busy doing the thing, it gives this really unrealistic highlight reel of what's going on. Like, any founder out there knows the reality of this. Like, you spend 95% of your time probably in a dark room staring at a spreadsheet, and then the 5% of the time that looks shiny and glamorous, and you're traveling and you're getting awards and you're getting funding, all that stuff is a result of those seeds that you've sown and the really unglamorous stuff. So I'm going to try and get better at sharing that stuff. And I also need to figure out how I'm going to share that we actually got into the accelerator program at Southampton University. So it's pretty wild, really exciting. It was really funny how I kind of found out. I had a feeling it would be yesterday that I would find out, and I was on kind of tenterhooks just looking at my emails. Kind of got to a stage where I forgot a bit. I got on a call with my mentor from Newable and Innovate UK. Was chatting to him, just updating him on how the pitch went, because he supported me with kind of developing it and stuff. And just got an email ping up, and I was like, oh, got in, crazy. We start that in March, which will be really exciting, and it'll give us a real feel for what is possible for Match. I think we're going to be in their incubator center, so we'll be surrounded by lots of other founders and business advisors and mentors and experts in, especially in healthcare, which is perfect for me. So I'm really excited, and we get an office space. So I'm getting my first office space, so that'd be really cool. Looking up all of the mentors and also meeting them as well. They've raised so much money for kind of startups through this accelerator program, and they've grown a lot of businesses through it. So I feel like it's the first step, which is really exciting. And I think what's really important to kind of think about is that none of these are the end goal for me, and I can feel it's almost the first K of a marathon. You started, there's so much to come, and none of that is shiny. None of that is glamorous, but it is so worth it in the long run. And I think it's weird kind of capturing those little signals that have shown that this is something. We've gone out to the community. They've said yes. Match. We've gone to clinicians. They said yes. It just feels like it's slowly falling into place. I did this vision board at the start of the year, and basically I put on there a few things. I put on some other things I can't quite share yet, but one of them was I want to do more talks, and the dream for me was to get a few keynote speeches in this year, just to start really creating a space where I could share my lived experience, and also experience within different industries. And I had this email through from the accelerator program. They accepted me on the same day. I had a call with the lead of an event called Innovate Access. Basically, at this event, there'll be various different kind of disabled founders, entrepreneurs, and there'll also be a few MPs, an event that's supported by BT as well, so they'll have their CEO there. And the whole event is about how can we essentially knock down barriers and support disabled entrepreneurs and founders. Gemma basically, at the end, she was like, we'd really love you to do the keynote speech. And I was like, this wild, I've only spoken to her once before. I've got a wild amount of imposter syndrome. So I'm like, really, me? Are you sure? But it's such an incredible opportunity. And though it's scary, and it's going to be my first time doing a keynote speech, I'm really excited. And it's just another one of those things that feels like it's sowing seeds. And just because I've put it out there, really, it's quite a scary thing to even say, oh, I'd like to do speeches, because actually, inherently, my body does not like doing speeches. My brain does not like doing speeches, but I know it's a seed to be sown. It goes back to that whole kind of point that I've been talking about through previous vlogs, that disability does mean innovation. That's what I'm going to use this key note speech to talk about, I think, is like, I want to say to other founders and entrepreneurs out there, like their business might not be anything to do with disability, but if they have lived experience or secondhand lived experience with disability, that's like an additional skill set, like we were talking about before. If you have that experience and you know what it's like to adapt and change to an environment not built for you or not built for someone close, and that means you've had to innovate, like in ways that people who are non-disabled and have not got that experience will not have had to do. And that is so valuable, and I want to encourage other people to use their voice and not be afraid to share that side of things. Like, I think I've experienced it where I didn't want anyone to even think about factoring in the fact I've got one arm into my position in businesses and things, or like it was like the elephant in the room, hide it, don't talk about that. Like, I don't need to talk about that, but actually it gives me an edge. Not only does it make you stand out, you see the world differently, and I really want to encourage people to think a bit more like that if they have that experience within their lives. And like, the more and more you kind of dig into it, you realize that a lot of designs that now the world takes for granted, say like drop curbs, they are because a disabled person has spoken out. It's because they've said, look, I can't navigate this curb in my wheelchair or in my mobility aid, and that is why they're there. They're there to support disabled people, but actually they're super useful for everybody, for people that use bikes, for people who are pushing buggies, just everyone utilises them. But if someone with a disability hadn't used their voice, we wouldn't have them. A lot of people don't realise that adaptive design is already mainstream, but should be more mainstream. Like, we're nowhere near there yet. And I really want people to get that, like, when you design from the margins, like, you often design something better for everybody. Like, you have spotted this gap that nobody else has thought about yet. That's powerful. That is exactly what you want business to be, right? You want to have a different angle on a market, or a new angle on a market. You want to spot those gaps, and I think that disabled people are like naturally going to see those gaps, and I want people to just start to shift their thinking about it. And I think that I'm feeling that kind of experience now. It feels really wild, and I'm really glad that I'm capturing it, because it's just, I'm like, I don't know, in a few years time, whatever, I'll just be like, oh, it was just a gut feeling. But there's these little signals that you just need to listen to. Yeah, it's really exciting. But now I need to go and stare at a spreadsheet. Very unglamorous. Stare at a spreadsheet, figure out my content, because we're going to do a shooting day tomorrow. I just need to make sure that I've got everything in a row so that I can change outfits and because I really need to get on top of this stuff. I'm going to go do that, have something to eat, and then back to mum life. So I come out for a walk to get some air, because I feel like I've just been staring at a laptop for the last, I don't even know how many hours. I had so much fun yesterday doing this shoot. I can't wait to share more, like who, what, where, how, why, all the things. There should be a little sneak peek and announcement post going out, I think the week that this comes out, for their followers, and just to give a bit more kind of on what's going on. Walking through puddles. So really, really exciting. And then had to come back and sit on my laptop, but it's all good stuff. Yeah, I just had the most lovely meeting with one of my business mentors, which is just so encouraging. Like, I think when you're kind of like Harry Pottering it and you're just under the stairs on a laptop or on your computer trying to build something in a silo, it can be hard. Like, you kind of lose perspective on stuff. So it's really great to hear from somebody who's got years and years of experience in various industries kind of say to you, look, this is something. And yeah, I know that I feel like I've said it probably way too many times recently. Even when you feel like the path is really uncertain and you're not sure where it's going to go, if you should be rolling the dice and making the leaps that you need to make to kind of build something new, I think just listening to those little signals, they become louder and louder and louder until you can't ignore them anymore. Something's got to give, you've got to change, you've got to do the thing. And I guess I'm just living that in real time, and I want to show the carnage of it, the messiness of the middle of it all, and also the excitement and the fear and the overwhelm. Like, it's all of the emotions all at the same time. Like, I just want people to kind of think, like, especially if you're in the disability space, if you spot a gap, I feel like it's almost certainly a gap that you can build on. The world needs more disabled entrepreneur. Look, I can't even say it. Definitely can't spell it. More disabled entrepreneurs, more disabled founders, more disabled people in business to use their voices, shout about those gaps, because it's going to make the world so much better for everybody, not just disabled people. I wish that we could flick a switch and everyone could understand that. I find it really comical when I want to capture some content on it. It's quite jarring that like my day can be a photo shoot, an S&C session, and then getting absolutely beasted by my 5 and 7-year-old all in one day. That's the reality of trying to spin all the plates. And something I definitely want to capture more of, but it's just exciting. I'm really grateful at this point that I'm capturing all of this. Even if nobody watches it and it's just for me to look back on, then it's a lovely way to note all those signals and watch them get louder and grow. But if you have made it this far, as always, thank you so much. So grateful. I hope you can hear me. It's so windy and chilly. I can't wait to grow this together.